Hello, I want to show you 6 super easy tips that maybe you already know, but if not, they're going to help you achieve realistic renders. The first tip is to bevel all the edge of the scene. There are no perfect shapes in the real world, so every edge has a little bit of imperfection. My recommendation is to obviously bevel all the models in the scene, but if you don't want to touch some geometry or you have some complex models, you can use this node to bevel the edge of the material. In this example with Arnold, you can use Bondage node and connect it to the normal camera. And this will make round edge for all the objects that have this material. So use it for materials or objects that you don't want to touch the geometry, and it will look more natural. The second tip is to add a little bit of imperfection to every surface. In real world, the perfectly flat surfaces doesn't exist, so you have to break all a little bit. One simple way to break these surfaces a little bit is to use procedural noise patterns. You can connect these noise patterns as a bump or as a specular roughness. So play with noise patterns and all things will look more natural. Maybe you didn't notice it at first, but these details make the difference. One common mistake is using directional lights or point lights that make hard edge shadows. The third tip is to use area lights or sky domes and make sure that your shadows have a little bit of fade in the edge, so this will look more natural. In Maya you can still use directional lights, but at least add a little bit of value to the angle parameter. Even if you want a hard shadow for your render, at least make the edge fade a little bit. The fourth tip is to add a little bit of lens distortion. Normally the cameras in the 3D software comes with no lens distortion, but in real life lens makes a little bit of lens distortion when you use wide angle shots or high zoom shots. For example, in Arnold cameras, you can change this value here in radial distortion under Arnold camera settings. For matching real life, you can use positive values for wide shots and negative values for high zoom shots. If you prefer, you can do this effect in your composition software, like using optics compensation in After Effects. It's a simple tip, but will make your render look a little bit more realistic because it will look like it's made with a real lens. Continuing with lenses, adding some chromatic aberration will help to achieve more realistic renders. Real lenses create this effect, so you can add it in After Effects or similar software. One simple way to do it is put your render passes all together, copy 3 times your render and use shift channels to set red, green and blue colors for each one. Then put the layers on top in a screen mode so you have all your colors again. And now you only have to add a little bit of optic compensation and add a little bit of distortion to the layers. You can use a little bit in your renders and it will help to achieve realistic renders. The sixth tip, and this is one, is to add grain to your renders. Real cameras create grain, so it's a good idea to add a little bit in your renders. It will look more like a photo, so don't forget it at the end of your composition. I hope you like these tips. I'm sure that you already know some of them, but if not, they will help you. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.